Hello again, Gills fans, and welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It's been pretty quiet on the transfer front and contract front since we last filmed an episode. Gabriel Zakuani, Nolan Bow and Elliot List have all agreed to sign on for next season at least, which is good. No contract details disclosed for one reason or another. But other than that, it's gone pretty quiet. There's talk of Callum Riley potentially being talked to regarding coming back on a permanent basis, which would be great. So I thought I would have another look at potential targets, those that maybe we could try and bring in. You know, it's just a bit of fun, like I always say. Chances are Steve Lovell won't look at any of the players that I mentioned. But today I am concentrating again on midfield and defence, so a little bit of a mixture. Not any strikers in this episode though, so I will crack right on. And the first person is a defender and a left back who has recently been released by AFC Wimbledon, and that is this man coming up on your screen. That is Callum Kennedy. As I say, AFC Wimbledon left back last season, featured 21 times for them as they battled against the drop. Didn't score, which is not expected from a left back. Provided 1 assist and kept 4 clean sheets when he did play, so 1 in 5, which is, it's not brilliant, but it's not a disaster considering he was playing in a team that struggled for the most part. But I think more of their problems were at the other end of the pitch. They didn't score a great deal. And in 2016-17, he featured for Leyton Orient in League 2 and he played 37 times. Did score 1 goal that season, provided assist as well, and again kept 4 clean sheets. So he's not really had much luck in terms of the last 2 seasons. It's been two relegation battles really. But he's a decent age. You could get him in, still a few years left in him. Seems to play regularly, doesn't have many problems with injuries. That's 58 games over the last 2 seasons, so it's 29 a season on average, which is by no means a disaster. And with Bradley Garmston's future still not decided one way or the other, and the fact that Conor Ogilvy's gone back to Tottenham, we are only left at the moment with Aaron Simpson, who is himself out of contract. So it looks like an area we could have to look at. So Callum Kennedy may be one that's worth a look. Pretty local based as well. Not that I think that's a massive thing in terms of they have to be local to be able to join us, because if they want to play football they'll move around. But yeah, Callum Kennedy's my first one. Second one coming up is a familiar face. We did have him on loan a few years ago, and he has recently been released, or transfer listed, sorry, by Peterborough United, and it is this man. As I'm sure you are all too aware, that is Michael Doughty, who we did have for 9 games during the 2014-15 campaign under Peter Taylor. Was very impressive in that short spell. Stood out amongst our midfielders as a class above. Did go back and feature for QPR in the Premier League after that, so he's had a good football education. Unfortunately, didn't really work out there for him long term. Moved on to first Swindon, and then last season he went to Peterborough, London Road, and he did play 42 times for the Posh. Scored 2 goals. Somewhat surprisingly, didn't provide any assists for me, but I think his role's slightly different there. He sort of plays as an orthodox centre midfielder, not an attacking midfielder. But yeah, lots of games, which is good to see in a side that generally has a lot of good creative and offensive players. So still a decent age, only 25 years old. So yeah, that was last season, 42 appearances, 2 goals, no assists. And in 2016-17 previously, he did feature for Swindon and QPR, playing 21 times, scored 3 goals and provided 5 assists in them games. So that's not a bad return in terms of direct involvement in goals. It was 8 in 21, which is better than 1 in 3. I know he did play for QPR in the Championship a handful of times at the back end of that campaign as well, so he has played at a very good level. Of course, there may be a fee involved, which we're not generally known for paying, but if it's not too great and his wages ain't too great, he'd definitely be one that I think would be worth having a look at. We know all about him. He knows about us as well. He knows Steve Lovell, who was obviously on the coaching staff when Doughty was here previously. So yeah, he'd be another one for me that's worth a look, because we do need central midfielders. As it currently stands, Mark Byrne has been offered a contract but hasn't signed it. Billy Bingham has just come back from a broken leg. Aaron Morris sadly has been released, and Jake Hessenthaler has also been released. So we're very light in that area, aside from kids who again have been offered deals, so it's not 100% confirmed that they're going to stay, the likes of Ben Chapman and Darren Oldacre. So Michael Doughty would be my second player, and my third one would be another Peterborough player, another one of about 13 or 14 that was somewhat surprisingly transfer listed by the club at the end of the season, and he is coming up now. That is Chris Forrester, who can play a number of positions in midfield, from the left, from the right or centrally, so would provide a good versatility and flexibility in terms of team selection if he was to arrive at the Priestfield, the Medway Council Priestfield. Played 38 times last season for Peterborough as they finished 9th in League One. Somewhat surprisingly didn't score, but I know he plays as a very sort of deep lying playmaker, quarterback if you want to call it that. Provided 5 assists in them 38 appearances, but yeah, got lots of regular game time. Very technically good, 2 good feet, knows how to pick a pass, works hard as well, and at 25 again he's at a really good age. And in the season before, again for Peterborough, 2016-17, he racked up a half-century of appearances, and in that time he scored 4 goals and provided an assist as well. I remember him a couple of seasons ago at the Priestfield was really, really good, and I think he rattled the bar from about 35 yards. A fantastic piece of skill just to create himself half a yard, if I'm thinking of the right one. But yeah, technically very good. I think he'd complement Billy Bingham, Mark Byrne and maybe Callum Riley, if we did get all them on board, would offer us something different from the centre of the park. So that would be the third one that I would have a look at. That's Chris Forrester. And the fourth person on my list today, and the final one, is a player that has featured at League 2 level and National League over the last couple of seasons. Big creative influence as his side won the National League a couple of years ago, getting promoted. And he's done all right this year for 2 clubs, Forest Green and also Dover Athletic on loan at the end of the season. That's probably given it away. It is this man coming up on your screen right now. That is Keanu Marsh Brown, who I've already said has played for Forest Green this season and then spent a short spell on loan at Dover Athletic, another Kent club, late on in the campaign. In 2017-18 overall, he played 25 times, scored 6 goals and provided 1 assist. But his spell at Dover at the back end of the season was very fruitful. He joined them and played 6 times, and he scored 4 of his 6 goals in that period. So a really good end to the season for Keanu. And the season before, Forest Green in the National League, he played 36 times, scored 11 goals and provided 5 assists, which is a fantastic return. That works out to 16 goals he was directly involved in, so it's basically 1 in 2 that he was involved directly in a goal for his team, as they got promoted from the National League into the Football League, which was good for them. I know there was talk beginning of last season, when Adrian Pennant was our manager, that we might have been interested, but I think obviously the fee would have been a bit bigger then because he wasn't out of contract as he is now. So it might be one to keep an eye on. A lot of our fans always say that there's plenty of gems in non-league. Southern lad, played for Dover end of the season, 25 again. I think 3 of these are 25 years old, so all at a very good age, but they've all played decent amount of football over the last few seasons. Keanu Marsh Brown has played 71 times in the last 2 seasons, which is not bad at all. And if you total that up, that's 71 appearances, 17 goals and 6 assists. So that's 23 goals that he's been directly involved in over the last 2 seasons. So it's 1 in 3. So pretty decent record at this level for me. Chris Forrester, I'll go back to him again. That's 88 appearances in the last 2 seasons. Michael Doughty, 63. And Callum Kennedy's the least, but that's 58. So they've got good game time over the last 2 seasons. I think in terms of Doughty and Forrester, wages might be a bit higher, but if we have this decent transfer and wage budget that the chairman has talked about, then maybe we can try and get them in. I know Steve Lovell's come out and said he wants to add 3, 4, maybe 5 at most, and that the youngsters are going to get a chance. So it seems we might be going down the route of we'll get a handful of really good league players in to complement what we've already got, if we can get them to sign new deals and then incorporate and get the youngsters involved throughout pre-season, etc., and moving forward. So obviously it all depends on which way we do go. As I say, highly likely that we won't even look at any of these players or those 5 that I looked at in the previous vlog a week or so ago. It is just a bit of fun. Like I say all the time, it's a chance for me to play manager, you guys to get involved and play manager as well. So as always, comment down there on YouTube, comment when it goes on the Facebook page, talk to us on Twitter. We love all the interaction and the discussion. Appreciate the support the other week. A couple of days ago we had another incident with a Wally who might watch this, so very brave, hides behind a profile picture and then privatises his account, which is ironic when he gets outed about being a bit of an idiot, but let him crack on. As always, thanks for watching. No flat cap today, keeping the beard though, and until next time, up the chills.